This black scribble shit behind me. Yeah, I'm not going through that. Like, where do they get off? Coupling a large inventory with icons. Like, what the frick? What is this? Do you know what this is? No, you don't. I don't know what this is. You don't know what it is until you click on it. But apparently it's a sword from Final Fantasy XIV. What sword? Nobody knows. You have to memorize this shit. And I don't understand. I truly don't. Who was the first person to come up with this idea? Some intern saying, hey, I have a brilliant idea to make everything unnecessarily difficult. Icons. A poor representation of the actual item because you can't even decipher what the icon is. And not to mention that every game seems to be getting more and more colorful with them. Like, as a colorblind person, screw that noise. You shouldn't have to memorize 100 different items on what they look like. Just make a list. But every game seems to be following suit. Every single MMO since WoW has done it, except for a few. JK lol. There are some single player games that are actually still making a list. Demon Souls, Dark Souls is interesting because they mainstreamed a lot of different things. For the reference of this video, the inventory system. They took away the weight limitations and they turned the list into icons. Why would you do that? Why? I really don't know. Let me tell you why I'm upset about that. A lot of people were happy about no limitations with Demon Souls, the Dark Souls. The reason why it's important to have limitations on what you can hold is because it creates a more dynamic gameplay experience. It indirectly makes a choice-based system throughout the whole game. A great example is the Resident Evil series. They have an icon-based system, but they limited the inventory to where you can only hold a few items, and they made it into a puzzle. So they made a game out of it. It's interesting because every single time you pick up an item, you have a choice. Do I leave this item or do I leave another item that I'm already carrying? And this choice can have a pretty big impact later down the road, like you dying, saving an NPC, making a better weapon, finding a better weapon. It's these little consequences that I don't think a lot of people realize or think about. They just think of the convenience of everything, trying to make their life a little bit easier, which in return, it doesn't really make it easier. It really doesn't, especially when you have to go through 100 different items just to find what you want. How is that even easier? How is that easier than only carrying a few items? It's not easier. It's harder. And you take away that rich, dynamic gameplay. I'm just looking for some great Jagra stuff to sell, but I can't find it. What did they get? Who the hell designed it?